Today on Allowing Love, my guest is someone that is dear and very near to my heart. I love her with all of my heart, and I'm so grateful for the day that she entered into my life experience. Her name is Miss Joann, but I call her Auntie Mama. And after the show, I'm sure she's going to beat me up for saying that, but I just want everyone out there to know that I love her with all my heart. She started the center, Horizon Center for Intuitive Awareness, about 13 years ago, and recently retired. And today I have her on the show because I just want her to share with the world from her perspective what love is. Because of her, I've experienced love on a whole nother dimensional level. Welcome, Miss Joann.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
That's awesome. So what I would like you to do, first of all, is share with us your journey, your initial journey in terms of how you end up starting the center, the Horizon Center for Intuitive Awareness. And basically the reason why I want you to share that with me is because that's where I met you, and from that point in time, my life has never been the same. So if you can share with us how you ended up in that place.
Okay, well, it really started in the 1980, 81, when my sister-in-law told me I needed to get a psychic reading. And I said, okay, sure, why not? But I didn't do it. And one day, she knocked on the door, and she said, get your coat and purse. And she put me in the car and took me over to this place called Berkeley Psychic Institute. And I had a reading from two young women in their early 20s who I thought, what could they know? They haven't been on the planet very long. Well, during the process of this reading, one of the young women said to me, you look like you're all dressed up with nowhere to go. And that just vibrated with me so much. I said, I have always felt that way, but I never had the words to describe it. And that perfectly described how I felt. And I thought, well, if she can see that, then this is something I need to investigate.
So when you said all dressed up and nowhere to go, it wasn't because of your physical attire. She was looking at
my soul,
your soul,
my spirit. Mm-hmm. That I was ready, but it's kind of stuck, frozen, nowhere to go. Mm-hmm. So that was the beginning of it. I started taking classes there over the years. And so then we'll fast forward. It's a lot of things in between, but we'll fast forward to my move from San Jose, California to Marietta, Georgia, or Atlanta, Georgia. So I started the center to teach classes on energy, understanding energy, energy healing, and being able to see clairvoyantly, because we can all do that. Sometimes it's buried, but we can all do that.
So when you say clairvoyantly, I just want to make sure that, some
psychically,
okay, being able to see in the spirit. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm. A level of knowingness. That's how I kind of function, on a level of knowingness. I just know.
Okay.
I don't know how I know or why I know. At that time I didn't, but I just knew. Mm-hmm. But at any rate, what that brought me to was an understanding of love in what I call a very spiritual way, a different way. One that says that you and I are connected, mm-hmm. that every plant, animal, and being out there, we are connected. To understanding that, if there's a little ant walking across this floor, and I go like that, and kill it, that there's a ripple in the entire universe that was once that ant. Now, while we can't feel a little tiny ant, let's say, you probably wouldn't notice that if you were eating your breakfast, you wouldn't notice that I killed that ant. But there are bigger ripples, because we are all connected, that as we start to do more and more things that are, say, destructive, then we affect that. And that's where it's felt, where it resonates is in the heart. and we can send love. We can make huge changes in people and their action just by coming from a place of neutrality and sending love to them.
So when you say neutrality, can you share a little bit more in terms of what that means?
By neutrality, I mean being in a place where I don't judge. I don't judge you or anyone else. I'm not perfect at that, but that's certainly a goal that I have, not to judge. Judge not, lest you be judged, right?
Right.
So I learned that when you come from that heart space, that little corner of your heart, and there's something going on in your aura or your space with someone else, and you can go to that place and send that life out to that love out to them, it totally changes things.
And when you say that, you talk about the heart space, one thing that I know to be true is like whenever I talk to you or when I think about you, I immediately I experience that love in my heart space. It's just like, I have grandkids, and I know I don't look like them that old, but anyway, I have grandkids, and when I think about them, I immediately have an experience of love in my heart space.
Absolutely.
And so that's the reason why, like when I first met you, I didn't understand or know where, why I had a connection, but as time went on, I knew.
Yes. And I would tell students, you need to find that place, that this one thought of this one event, like yours thinking of grandchildren, just goes to this warm, great place in your heart. You have no choice. If I'm upset and angry, and I think about an event that used to happen with my granddaughter when she was 2, we'd play a game. I'd chase her around the room. She would sneak up and take the remote, and I would chase her and tell her to give me that remote, and she would just laugh and giggle, and I would get it and would do it again. But if I'm not feeling well or down, I think that thought, I immediately become in a place of joy and love. I can't help it.
Yes, and that's just so awesome. And that's one of the things that I, as a host of a show called Allowing Love, is to help people to understand and to see how they can experience love every single day just by allowing themselves to be in a place or experience something that they know love to be based on what they have come to realize.
Exactly.
And so, with that being said, can you share with me, if it's possible, in your own words, how you would describe what is love to you? What is the meaning of love?
Well, I think that I'm not sure I can give you a meaning for love. I only know how it feels on a one-to-one. It makes a difference. When someone is not in the right space or not, say, behaving in their best possible way, and if I could send them love and they immediately, you see a difference, they change your behavior, that's what it is about. And I have a great story for that if we have time.
Yes, you can.
My son, who lived in Albuquerque, drove a truck, and he drove it about 2 miles, about 20 or 30 miles from home, and it broke down. So he calls his boss, and his boss says, well, we'll have to get someone up there to get it fixed, so just rent a car and come home. So he walked into, I'll say it, Avis, and he's a large man. As soon as he walked in, the lady behind the counter kind of had an attitude. So he walks up to the counter, and he said, well, I need to rent a car to go back to Albuquerque and get home. I only needed a couple of hours, so I'll turn it in as soon as I get there. And she says, okay, that'll be a $250 deposit. So he says, okay. So he pulls out his ATM card, and he gives it to her. Well, he didn't have 250 at that moment in it. It was about 200, and it was declined. So she says, I'm sorry, your card was declined. So he called his boss and said, hey, you're going to have to pay for this. My card didn't work. And she said, no, we can't take a card from someone over the phone. Well, okay, that kind of makes sense. So then he gave me a call here in Atlanta. He says, hey Mom, I'm a little short in my account, I've got to rent this car, can you put some money in it so I'll have enough to make that deposit? So I said, sure. You know, today it took, what, 5 minutes to put $50 or so in his account. So he goes back up to her. He said, okay, there's enough money now. And she says, I'm sorry, we can only try running a card one time a day. You'll have to come back tomorrow. And here he is in another city, nowhere to go. You know?
Oh,
so my son's a pretty cool guy. He didn't blow up. I had another son that would have, but this one didn't. Mm-hmm. And she turns around and walks out the room with him standing there at the counter. So he calls me back. He says, Mom, you won't guess what happened. She said, you can only run it once. And I said, well, let's just send her love from our heart. So he moves to a place where he can stand against the wall and close his eyes, because he's done this work as well. And I sat there in my office, and from my heart, I just sent her unconditional love. That included everything that goes with that: forgiveness, non-judgment, compassion, whatever that happens in that. So we did this for about 5 to 10 minutes. And he told me that she came out of that office, she walked around the counter, she went over to him, standing against the wall, and she says, let me see if I can help you. And she took that same card that she said she wouldn't use for 24 hours. She ran it, and he got his card, and he went on home. So that's how I see love, because we're all connected. And when we send love to one another, when we send love to plants, when we send love to animals, when we send love to whatever needs a healing, we improve the world. And it makes a big difference.
Yes. And so, so often we, on our journey of experiencing love and understanding what love is that we don't realize that we can, at will, open up our hearts to allow love to flow in and through us. Exactly. And so, on my journey, as I, have learned how to purify my heart by observing it, I call it my portal. It's like, a shutter on a camera, and it just opens up. And if you just set your intention to, first of all, experience the love from within yourself, and then once you experience that love, then open up your heart so that others can experience it. So as I've gone on my journey as well, when I hug individuals and I pay attention to my heart and intentionally open it up, I can feel the shift and they can feel it too.
Yes, exactly. And you could be on MARTA, someone either behaving poorly or not looking like they feel well, and you can send the love to any experience. You go in any store, and you're feeling not quite right, the energy isn't quite right, you can send that love out, and it will change people. Yes. Just like it changed the lady behind the counter. And that's what I think, one of the things I think we're here to do, is to send love to the world. And if you have 1 million, 2 million people doing that, you won't have any bombings or acts of terror if enough people start to send love to all parts of the world. It's a very powerful tool.
Yes, it is. And so what I would like for you and I to do in this moment is open up our hearts right now and set an intention to send love out to those who would watch or is watching this YouTube video.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask that when we do this, I want those who are watching to close their eyes and just see if they can feel the experience of the love that we open our hearts to allow. And so it just take like about 30 seconds.
And just doesn't take much more than that.
Right, 30 seconds. And we're going to do that because this is a practice that I would charge the viewers to do. Is just focus on your heart and just imagine it opening up in this moment to experience the love that Miss Joann and I sending out through the airways in this moment in time. Because there could be someone out there that have not experienced love in a long time, or might be going through something right in this moment and just need to feel the love in their hearts, not from any particular person, but just to be able to experience love unconditionally without any ties or looking to anyone outside of themselves, but the love that is all there is. This is Tracey of Allowing Love. And as always, love is all there is. It is the force that gives life to everything and everyone. It is experienced and expressed in many different ways. And to the degree in which you allow love will be to the degree that you will experience it and have the capacity to express it. Again, this is Tracey Johnson of Allowing Love. Until next time, thank you.
The journey of life often creates blockages of doubt, fear, and disbelief. This can dam up our hearts and hinder the flow of love. To find out more about Allowing Love, contact Tracey Johnson at allowing528hz@gmail.com or call 678-653-2688.